I'm Lena Mendoza. I'm an executive coach and business strategist. And I'm really excited because my friend Addie and I, as we cultivate our connection over the last few years, we found out that we had a lot of the same entrepreneurial journey and also the mindset. And then we asked ourselves, like, how much of this information is out there that do people even know, right? They only see all the glory, but they don't see the story that happened before. They don't see the test before the testimony, right? And so what is the success and the setbacks that are involved with being an entrepreneur? And let's be honest, what are some of the failures? So we're going to be raw and real. We're going to bring that to you in a weekly LinkedIn audio event. And we'd love for you to be our guest. And you know what? We would love for you to share that. So come and join us. Let us hear and let's share some nuggets with you in the Success and Setback LinkedIn audio series.
Good morning. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Okay, your sound. I can't hear your sound.
Good morning.
Lena.
Good morning. Woo!
Oh, okay, there you go. There you go.
Yes. Welcome.
Happy Wednesday. We are here for Success and Setbacks. My name is Adeshaya Omole. Some people call me Ade. I'm a business strategist, a tech entrepreneur, and I also help people build their businesses. So I have Lena with me today, and she's going to introduce herself too.
Absolutely. So good morning, everyone. I'm Lena Mendoza. I'm a business analyst. Help us large to medium-sized businesses with cost savings, those who are struggling. And so one of the aspects I do is some coaching. And so I partner here with Addie, and it has been a synergistic relationship to hyperdrive businesses forward. And I'm really, really glad to be here today.
Yes. You know, one of the things I didn't really have a full advantage on when I started business about 20 years ago is that I didn't have mentors that would show me the behind the scenes. So when we started this Success and Setbacks, our intention is to actually bring the behind the scenes to everyone. So we have strong people in our network that are experts in the different fields. And we have a new guest today that will actually be pulling the curtain back to show us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we give you an opportunity also to ask questions. So get your questions ready for anything that has to do with LinkedIn strategy, and branding. She has the answers to those. So I'm going to let Lena just invite her on stage because she's going to introduce her a little bit and then invite her on stage. There you go.
Absolutely. So Lynn Williams is also going to be, so I call her Dr. Williams. So she's soon to be she's a doctoral candidate currently. But I want to tell you, like, this lady is a super powerhouse, amazing. She's humble in spirit. Her website is greatcareers.org. And so her passion is really helping people, or started out to help people with, their careers, but ultimately also businesses, right? And so where I saw her was at SBDC, so Small Business Development Corporation, and helping businesses learn like how to have a digital footprint using LinkedIn. So much that she's so passionate about that she has she's writing her doctorates on LinkedIn. And so there's so much opportunity for us to leverage this platform that is, showcases who we are, our achievements, our business, and then what are we doing the day to day? And so really it's a global market, right? And so as we were talking a little bit earlier, it's not just what's on the internet. I mean, it's not just Houston, it's not just San Francisco, it is all over the world. And so Lynn really has, found out some hacks for us. And so I really want to encourage us to take some notes, go back to this and play it later because I've heard her before. She is book solid. I mean, I would not be surprised. I've looked at her LinkedIn tree. She's booked about 4 to 6 months typically. And so she is in high demand for asking, when people want to ask her these questions. So I know she has another class coming up this Friday. I sent out to some colleagues and she gives us those nuggets to really help us leverage our leadership on LinkedIn and leverage our businesses. And so, and then really be visible to others. So let's ask her some great questions today. So Lynn, welcome to Success and Setbacks.
Welcome, Lynn.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So Lynn, what was your thoughts when we invited you for this broadcast? What went through your mind?
I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know whether I was having a discussion or doing a presentation. So now that I know it's a discussion, I have no idea what questions you're going to ask me. So this is just going to be off the cuff. I'm ready.
Yeah, don't worry. Just relax. Enjoy the moment. Connect with the audience. Connect with us. And you'll be great. Okay? Awesome. So while we're starting this, we want you to just talk a little bit about yourself. Just sure. You, your business, just a little bit.
So if I were to give my less than 15-second elevator pitch, it would be this. Hi, I'm Lynn Williams. I guide you to your keywords to beat the bots. So hopefully that's enough that would start a conversation and you'd say, well, gee, Lynn, what is it that you do? What do you mean by that? So basically, I do two things. I run a for-profit business and I run a nonprofit business. So the for-profit business is I write resumes and LinkedIn profiles or LinkedIn profile content. And I also help people build LinkedIn company pages. So the nonprofit is I'm the executive director, and what we do is career education. Before the pandemic, we were running about 1,000 events per year in person. I don't even know how we did that. It was crazy.
Wow.
And then when the pandemic hit, we went virtual, mainly on Zoom. And we were doing about 600 events a year. Then the next year, we took it down to 500. Now we're doing about 20 to 25 events a month. And some of that is, they are affiliate events. Like this would be an affiliate event that we
Okay.
also promoted on our greatcareers.org website and on our meetup, which has over 5,900 members. Now, I wear a third hat. The third hat is I'm working on my doctoral dissertation on the topic of LinkedIn for job seekers. So needless to say, got a few balls in the air, but life is good, keep it busy, and I'm a grandma too. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. When did you become a grandma?
I became a grandma in 2020, believe it or not,
Wow.
on 9/11,
Oh,
of all
wow.
days, right?
What?
Yeah, and
Wow.
then I became a grandma for the second time
Yeah.
this past Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The turkey
Wow.
came out of the oven at 6:03 p.m. So I have two
Awesome.
grandsons.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Yeah. I wonder how you create time out of your busy schedule for your
Family.
I don't have a partner. My husband died in
Sorry to hear that.
2009 of leukemia,
Yeah.
and I have two adult daughters. And so my time is my time. I just do me and do my jam, and I know it's like really early for some of you out in the West Coast.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't typically prefer early morning times. So, but you can catch me at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
I just love burning the midnight owl oil, not
Yeah.
owl. Oh, whatever. Yeah, coffee. I'm working on it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take your coffee. I was going to mention
Awesome.
that earlier. If you had coffee, relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
impressive. I mean, Lynn, you look young, and I know about that you became grandma second time, and but just really how you navigate that so well. Because when I looked at your link tree, I mean, you're booked out. You're a scheduler, you're a planner, so it says a lot about how you manage your time, and then you're very clear and concise when you do presentations. So it's super impressive
Well,
because
thank you.
when
Yeah,
I saw you, I mean,
I'm
I
calendar driven.
yeah,
If it's on the calendar, it happens. If it's not on the calendar, it
well,
doesn't happen.
yeah,
So I
totally,
prefer people don't call me because I could be on a presentation, I could be with a client,
yeah, totally,
or I could be doing my own personal learning. So it's like
yeah,
book a call, please. I make it easy. It's in my email signature and 3 places on LinkedIn. How
yeah,
can you miss it? Right?
absolutely.
But I've been with SCORE for over a decade,
Okay,
and I started out with the Chester and Delaware County, Pennsylvania chapter. So last
okay,
year, instead of speaking for one chapter, they did regional, and it became 10 chapters. Now SCORE's doing something really awesome. They're doing a Mid-Atlantic chapter, which is or Mid-Atlantic region, which is 30 chapters. So this Friday, the 19th, I'm speaking for the Silicon Valley chapter, Silicon Valley, California. I
that's
actually
great.
used to live in San Francisco. But on the 30th of the month, I highly recommend you take note of this one. That's the Mid-Atlantic chapter.
Okay.
And there could be hundreds, if not thousands, of people on the call. And here's my topic: how to gain customers
Ooh,
with a
oh,
LinkedIn company page. So it's
Okay.
not just the deck, but I will be doing live demos
Okay.
to, I don't even know, hundreds or thousands of people.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So they just started doing this Mid-Atlantic thing just this year. So they're piloting it in this region of the country, and then I'm sure they're going to roll it out in other parts of the country. But score.org, check it out if you're an entrepreneur. There's free mentoring and there's free and low cost workshops, and it is supported by the SBA, Small Business Administration. I love this organization. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
Same.
been in it for a decade.
Yeah. Same. That's awesome. You want to start off with a question, Addie? What you got for us?
Yeah. I just wanted to just take us on a journey with just a short journey of how you started using LinkedIn. You know, you say you're an expert in LinkedIn. You're doing doctorate in LinkedIn. Like, tell us a little bit about that journey.
Okay, so it's kind of funny. I've reinvented myself, I think 6 times. So I was a K-12 teacher. And when I was leaving K-12 teaching in 2013, February 2013, I had no idea that I had a LinkedIn account. I was at a presentation and the presenter absolutely captivated me with LinkedIn. And I went and looked and I had 211 connections in February
Wow.
2013. Yeah. Now I have over 19,000.
Wow.
That's
So,
awesome.
and I turn down a lot of people. I do not connect with everybody. It's like, who do I want in my network? Will you provide value to me as well? Can I provide value to you? So, I have some followers there,
Okay.
but I had no idea that I had a LinkedIn account. And I kept learning on YouTube and reading articles and going to live presentations and listening to other speakers.
Awesome.
Well, it was crazy. 11 and a half months went by. I didn't have a job, but 7.5 months went by. I didn't have an interview. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm a pretty talented person. I got a lot of tech skills, very organized, very
Yeah.
detail oriented, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So that's when I started exploring the applicant tracking system, and I did a lot of research on that. And that's part of the premise of the keywords. And then I started learning WordPress, so the back end of the website, and started working on that with keywords, meta descriptions, this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, I kind of put all that together, and I decided to reach out to my local library. And I said, hey, you're looking for a LinkedIn presenter. I'd love to volunteer. And the people at the front desk said, oh, it might be 2, 3, 4 months before you hear back because they've got so many people that want to present at the library. I heard back in 2 days.
What?
Nobody was teaching LinkedIn, and they were so excited that I wanted to do it. So here I went from a 6th grade classroom to teaching adults. I was petrified. I was really scared. But that was September 2013 was my first LinkedIn presentation live in person with adults. And then the people there said, this is really good, Lynn. We want more. So I developed a LinkedIn part 2. And then they said, this is really good, Lynn. We want more. And then I developed a part 3. So I've been teaching for over 10 years until December, a 3-hour free LinkedIn class through my local library, which went from in-person to Zoom when the pandemic hit. Sadly, they don't have the funding right now. And they were actually supporting our nonprofit organization. So if we had the support, then I would definitely continue doing it. So I'm still doing LinkedIn workshops. In fact, I got one at 2:00 today, and it's free if you can figure out how to get online. But that one is mainly geared towards job seekers because it's through our local unemployment office. And then I've got another one tonight, which it'll probably be a small group, and come and ask me questions, but you have to be a member of the nonprofit. So there's all kinds of things that are available out there, and I'm not the only LinkedIn game in town. There's lots and lots of people out there that provide great value on LinkedIn Lives and LinkedIn audios and whatnot. So, especially through, if you've ever heard of the Thought Leadership Branding Club,
Mhm.
so it's thoughtleadershipbranding.club. I am on the leadership team. I love that organization. Bobby Umar is our founder, and we have amazing speakers, and I've learned so much in that group. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, underneath my picture and my headline, you'll see more gobsmacking resources. That's my link tree. So click on that and you'll see, Thought Leadership Branding Club, and come as my guest. You can come for free for a couple times. It's on Thursdays, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And there's lots of other benefits. But also check out thegreatcareers.org, my nonprofit, and our events page. We've got a lot going on.
That's awesome.
That is so awesome. So you talked about how you started teaching on LinkedIn
Yeah.
10 years ago. I mean, like, wow, that's
Well,
amazing.
now 11
level now.
Yeah.
We're into the level
Yeah,
tier,
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of us are just starting in the last 2 years, you know. So I would like you to just share some key strategic approach that one can use on LinkedIn, especially for
Sure.
entrepreneurs. Yep.
So you got to build your brand. Like if you have that, grayish, greenish blob default banner, you got to fix that. So you got to have a custom banner, and let's not have a beach or a ski hill or anything like that. Tell us what it is that you do, what value you bring, what's your
right.
value proposition,
Yep.
or what problems do you solve? Who's your audience? Tell us something so we're not guessing. Oh yeah, you like skiing. That's nice. Okay, so the next thing is you have to build a headline that's meaningful. So not only do you have to have key words in there, but you might put in a USP. That's a unique selling proposition. So again, what is it that you do? What problems do you solve? Who's your audience? That type of thing. I use a headline analyzer called ShareThrough, and the link to that is headlines.sharethrough.com. So if you copy and paste your headline in there, you're going to get 3 scores. You're going to get an overall score, you're going to get an engagement score, and you're going to get an impression score. So you got to think of this like a traffic light. Green is good, right? Go. Yellow, yield, caution. Red, oh no, stop. So take that headline and work on improving it until you get, green, 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 or at least green, yellow, green. I think sometimes you need to say what you need to say, and it's not always going to go green, green, green. But believe it or not, I had a client. I got 100, 100, 100. Hit it. Nail on the head. It's only happened to me one time with one client where I got, triple hundreds there.
Wow.
But
Awesome.
I've had lots of other clients where I've gotten the green, green, green. So here's the deal. If you go to greatcareers.org, up at the top right of our website page is a search bar. Enter the word headline. And when you enter that word headline, a couple articles are going to come up. The one that kind of started my journey on this is the one with the big newspaper that says you are the best, and it'll tell you how to boost your LinkedIn headline score.
That's awesome. You have a lot of nuggets, and this is like just the beginning. Because I remember when I was like, oh my, because people teach LinkedIn learning, right, or LinkedIn like how to use it. I want to say it's kind of generic, but this is talking about like scoring and then really like optimizing your LinkedIn and leveraging it for what it can really do, right? And attract, like, it's like, like if you're fishing, right? But who are you trying to get? Are you trying to attract for a new role? Are you attract for customers? And so I love that you're even training on like, no, make your LinkedIn page convert for your customers. Like, how are you doing that? So that's awesome.
Yeah, I got lots more tips. Spend the money on a professional photographer. I had a picture that my daughter took in 2014.
Okay.
And it was with her iPhone think of what the iPhone, pixels and whatnot were in
Sure.
2014, right? I used that picture till 2021. And, the pandemic started and I had intentions of going to get a picture. And I just like never pulled the trigger. I just never did it. I just always got so busy. There was always an excuse, right? So finally in 2021, I went and got a professional picture taken. And oh my gosh, it's just like a whole world of difference.
Okay.
So, you might find a photographer from $200 to $800 or something like that. Um, I know, you're not in my area, but in Greater Philadelphia, we have something called the Free Library Philadelphia. And at the
Oh,
Free
wow.
Library in Philly, one of our branches, it's called Parkway Central. Every first and third Thursday of the month from 1 to 3 p.m., they have professional photographs available for free. So wherever you are, check with your local library. Libraries are amazing resources.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
and then there's all kinds of entrepreneurial type meetings and get-togethers. And sometimes they get photographers, who volunteer, or maybe they'll, do a quick headshot for $25 or $50 or something like that. Do
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Next thing is your about section. Let's think about this. 88% of people, from one research study I read, are looking at LinkedIn and engaging on LinkedIn on their mobile phones. So if they go to your about section and
Mhm.
you have paragraph, 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 you got this big old wall of black and white text. And you know what? I'm not going to read it. My eyes are going to glaze over. I don't know about you, but give me one paragraph's okay, but then give me something that has emojis, more bullet
Yeah.
pointy kind of writing,
Yeah.
white space, some core
Totally.
competencies in alphabetical order. Make sure you put your contact information at the bottom of the about section, because if you're not a first level connection with somebody, they may not be able to see anything but your LinkedIn URL. And by the
Yeah.
way, hopefully you've customized your LinkedIn URL.
Yeah.
So I wrote an
Yeah.
article not too long ago, where it's like, check your LinkedIn on mobile as well as desktop. And that's kind of what that article is about.
Okay.
So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, to my featured section, every week I write an article. And I've been doing this since February 2019, but newsletters kind of weren't invented then, on LinkedIn. So again, under that gobsmacking links, I've written probably about 250, close to 250 articles, and you'll
Yep.
see
Wow.
a Google Doc that has them all in there. But every week I'll write something about career. Mainly it's about LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and it could be whether you're self-employed, employed, or unemployed. So every week it may not be pertinent and pertain to you, but just ignore that week. But there are
Yeah.
other weeks that it will pertain to you.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, subscribe. I've got
Yeah.
over 6,100 subscribers, and obviously it's free. And I
There should
also
be
add
more
on the events for the week. Yeah.
yeah, I say that because I feel like, as I was telling Addie, I'm like, a lot of what you say, if you take a little bit more, analyze what you're sharing, if it's about careers, and
Mhm.
you really think about what it has to do with the business development side, it has some it really impacts us, right? And so
Oh,
I
absolutely.
love that. And so I want to ask this question: what are some key strategies you've employed on your LinkedIn that's been most effective in your business development?
All right. I'm going to tell you something that is like super duper crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Most people who are entrepreneurs have websites.
Yeah.
I do not. I do not have a personal website.
Okay.
I use the nonprofit website.
Okay.
So it, feeds the masses, so to speak, on career education.
Okay.
My LinkedIn profile is my landing page. So by putting content out there, I don't have time to put a lot of content out there. And a lot of times I'm putting events out there, and
Yeah.
how engaging is that? Maybe not so much. But I do what I do, and I do participate in the platform. So when I can,
Awesome.
I
For
do
sure.
what I can without stressing myself out or without losing sleep and all that. But you have to comment on other people's content. Okay. You can't just be like a lurker on LinkedIn. If you want to get seen for credibility, visibility, discoverability, you got to be out there commenting on other people's content. So your
Right.
commenting strategy is just as important as your posting strategy. I mean, I love, you know, beautiful carousels, that people make and YouTube videos and whatnot. I don't have that kind of time to edit and create and all that. So you'll get a weekly newsletter from me. I'm a writer, just like, my offering as a career coach. I don't do career assessments. I don't do interview coaching. I'm a writer. I do keywords and resumes and LinkedIn profiles. That's it. So that's my niche. I'm staying in my lane and that's it. But I can
Yeah.
refer you to other people that do those amazing career coaching things. Um so I don't know. I love what I do. I love helping people. I came from,
Awesome.
previously a K-12 teaching background. That is a service. We're trying to get kids and move them from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And, there's a term, that K-12 teachers use, data-driven decision making, right? So you
Mhm.
want to see, where the kids are and how they move each quarter of the school year. So I
Mhm.
take that premise and take that to resumes and LinkedIn. So
Hmm.
here you are now. How can we improve and make impact? You know, and how can we increase your views and with the right keywords? So
Hmm.
I have my own system that I put together. I do one-to-one concierge white glove service with individuals. And because I have no website, which is crazy, all my work
Mhm.
comes in word of mouth referral. It's crazy, but the only week that I did not get a client last year was Christmas week. That's it.
Talk about client conversion, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's
That's
it's
awesome.
speaking it's speaking and writing. I share my expertise and then I have clients that are repeat clients. Like I have one lady 4 times already every year. "Lynn, I'm buying an hour. We're gonna update my resume. We're gonna update my LinkedIn, tell me what I gotta do, what's new." So, and I get a lot of repeat clients, and then
Yeah.
clients are so happy. They give my name out to their friends and colleagues and, "Hey, can you do my son? He's looking for an internship,
Yeah.
in college." So yeah, that's how it works for me. So
Awesome.
being a servant leader, coming from the heart of wanting to help people, just like, helping students, I help
Yeah.
adults.
Awesome. And you help employers or people who own companies to rebrand or
Yeah,
brand,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it's, you have to do things slightly differently,
Okay.
for entrepreneurs than you do for job seekers.
Right.
But I use the same techniques for keyword analysis.
Yeah.
It's different using project manager versus project management. It's different using budgets, and budgeting. And you don't know what you don't know unless you start, doing some quantitative research on the keywords. I've had 2 clients that are SEO specialists. They're like, "Oh my god, Lynn, I love your system." So
Wow.
That's awesome. Impressive.
Wow.
So I want to ask you, so we talk a lot about the good, the bad, and the ugly, hence why we say success and setbacks. So here, if
Mhm.
you, as you feel comfortable, can you share maybe something challenging or setbacks that you face in your techpreneurship, right, journey, and how did you overcome that?
All right. I've had a couple obstacles in my life. Well, I've had many obstacles in my life, but the 2 biggest ones, one was divorce.
Mm.
So, and I had a 1.5 and a 3-year-old that I
Mhm.
raised by myself. They're now 32 and 34, about to be
Yeah.
33 or something like that.
Wow.
Um, that was challenging. So that's when I thought, "Oh my god, I gotta start a business. How do I start a business?" How do I get clients? That was 1993 in California.
Mm.
Wow.
I started a business called Around the Clock Executive Helper. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, there's some executive that's coming in, you know, that's going to need help at wee hours of the morning. Yeah, right. Okay. That was my thought. Somebody needed help, you know, off hours. And I didn't have a website then, didn't have LinkedIn then, right? Um, but I actually wound up getting some work and whatnot. I moved from California to Pennsylvania on 13 hours notice back in 1993. That was all part of, you know, appellate court decision, you know, and precedent setting cases before me that allowed me to take my children out of the state, away from dad, who sadly again died of leukemia in 2009.
Mm.
But I moved to Pennsylvania in 1994, and I
Mhm.
started restarted the business. I filed the business in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Well, in 2005, another absolutely horrific thing happened. I had a fire. I lost everything in my life to fire,
Oh, no.
everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had depreciated value insurance, not replacement value.
Oh my.
Mm.
So that really hit me in smack dab, you know, between the eyes, financially.
Mm.
And then right after I sort of was just about, you know, getting rebalanced financially to a 0
Mhm.
rather than being 5-digit figures in debt, I lost my job,
Mm.
and that was 2013,
Mm.
and I was unemployed for 11 and a half months, and that's when I went out and I started networking, like
Mm.
12 to 15 hours a day. I would be driving everywhere to go to meetings, to be with people, and that's where I
Yeah.
kept hearing all these speakers. That's when I fell in love with the career services industry and reinvented myself. And here I am,
Awesome.
11 years later, you know, come next month, it'll be 11 years
Wow.
that I kind of dip my toe in the water.
Wow.
So even though things go awry, you know, I think God has a plan for you,
Mm.
and He never gives you more than you can handle. And so I just reinvented,
Awesome.
and here I am. Um, my business last year, I only work part time, but because I'm
That's
so busy,
awesome.
you
Yeah.
know, because I'm so busy running the nonprofit, and I volunteer for a veterans organization and my local business association and SCORE, um, and you know, and the dissertation, so I can only work part time, but my business grew 40% last year from the previous year.
Good for
Um,
you.
you know, even part time, so that it works for me. You know, it definitely works for me, and
That's
I'm so
awesome. I'm
pleased
laughing
that I
because I'm
made.
so happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
know, you talked about your setback and some of the
Hmm.
obstacles you
Yeah.
faced along the way, which were major milestones. And we've, as entrepreneurs, we've been there where it may not be exactly the same, right? And the
Hmm.
Mm.
next question I would like to ask is, how have you been able to take the experiences you've gone through, the obstacles, and actually turn them into lessons? And when you turn them into lessons, does that integrate into how you approach LinkedIn? Because sometimes people are not transparent with those experiences; they bottle it
Hmm.
in, you know. But do you integrate that into your LinkedIn approach and strategy?
I'm going to add one more thing
Okay.
to the pot, and then kind of get into the answer for that. So I married an autistic man,
Hmm.
and my oldest daughter is autistic and ADHD.
Hmm.
I left corporate America to go into teaching, and I got my
Mm.
special ed certification.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of what I do and how I teach and how I instruct, um,
Mm.
it's probably because I've reached level 65, right? And I'm a boomer. So I have my own way of teaching, you know, I like the step by step kind of thing. But I've attracted some neurodivergent clients,
Awesome.
and I guess they like the way that I work with them, and it's probably because of my patience and um, having worked as a special ed teacher, doing emotional support and ADHD and bipolar and autistic kid. You know, I had all kinds of a little bit of everything, right? And so I guess I apply, you know, that part and background of me, and in my teaching. As a teacher, you're serving, you know, you're a servant leader, so to speak, as a teacher in a classroom. And that came up, you know, when I had this opportunity for this nonprofit.
Hmm.
So the story on that is in 2010, the Philadelphia Area Great Careers Group meetup, even though, you know, we're on Zoom, that was the name. It was started by two gentlemen. And in 2015, they asked me if I wanted to take it over. They said, there's money, there's time, you know, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So I took it over
Awesome.
in 2015. It had 1,722 members. We're now up over 5,900 members. So I decided I wanted to turn it into a 501c3 nonprofit.
Good for
And that
you.
was in 2017. And we built the website in 2019. And we have to monetize, right? We are supported by our members. It's a very small fee, like $1 a week, you know? But you know, that's for annual, unless you want to pay, you know, $8.99 a month. But we really are a nonprofit. We work on a very small budget, and we are volunteer run.
Hmm.
So taking that concept of being a giver, okay, that was my success story as an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
When I give, I receive.
Hmm.
It's called you reap what you sow.
Mhm.
And so that's why I do a lot of what I do and help job seeker groups and speak for free.
Mhm.
I was inspired by this book called The Go-Giver.
Oh,
And
yes.
I loved that book. And so, you know, that's sort of my mantra. And
Mhm.
I have been so blessed by giving.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is so amazing. That's so amazing. You know, I think one of the things you've learned over the time, and even in your teaching, is patience. You know, like how you showed,
Mhm.
you know, being able to take time. And sometimes we're so much in a haste, especially as entrepreneurs. We want it to happen like tomorrow, next week, next month.
Mhm.
And when it doesn't happen, sometimes we get frustrated and was like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But the persistency,
Mhm.
when you told me about how you were giving those free classes in the library, I was like,
Mhm.
wow, for how many years? Like you did that, you know,
Over 10
Mhm.
years,
10
3
years.
hours a month.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if there's anyone
Yeah.
out there, you know, you're doing something you know you believe you should be doing, and it just looks like it's not producing the results you expect, keep at it. Stay on it,
Well,
because if you're being called
here's
for,
another thing,
Mhm.
okay? Because I'm not a SCORE mentor, I'm just on their speakers bureau. But, you know, I've attended enough SCORE meetings and just, you
Mhm.
know, doing my own entrepreneurial journey. It takes 3 to 4 years to build your brand and your business. So
Mhm.
you have to have the finances, the staying power, or something to help you get kicked off. So my suggestion is, you know,
That's awesome.
have a job and have an income and work that business mornings, evenings, weekends as a side gig. Now, if you cannot publicly display that side gig on your LinkedIn profile, you can build a LinkedIn company page. Okay. And you don't have to connect it to your profile. So you can do that sneaky stuff, you know, going on. Like I can give you ways. So go to greatcareers.org and in the top
Awesome.
right, put the keyword company page. You will come up with an article that I wrote on how to build a company page step by step, and there's visuals in there with a Google Doc, link to a Google Doc. Now, the client that I did that for, Dr. Sandra Janae, she took down that LinkedIn company page and took down her website, and she now has a nonprofit herself. So you won't see that company page that was built for her, that I referenced and have pictures of in the article, but it's all there. It takes about an hour ish, and you have to be able to build some Canva. I use Canva
Mhm.
graphics. There's the banner and the logo.
Mhm.
But if you are an entrepreneur, by all means, oh my goodness, have a LinkedIn company page instead of those little gray buildings. You got to build that brand, and you got to put out good content. And again, join me January 30th with Score. And you know what? I bet you dimes to donuts they're recording this. So if you can't make it live, if you sign up for it, they will send a recording. But I do
Mhm.
do this presentation, fairly often with different Score chapters. So, yeah, I got a lot
Yeah.
of tips and tricks, and I will do live demos on that company page. So you got to have that as an entrepreneur. Now,
That's
you're gonna laugh at me. Around the clock executive helper. You know what my LinkedIn company page says? Go to greatcareers, .org for
mhm.
that LinkedIn company page. I do not feed content on my own personal company page. Why? I'm changing my brand. I'm building a new brand. I have a graphic designer working on a new logo. So I will rectify that, down the road, but I'm waiting for the logo to happen. And it's like, what was
That's
I
awesome.
thinking in 1993 with that name, Around the Clock Executive Helper, right? You know, so I need a I
It
I
was
need
a
a new
different
name.
time,
It
Lynn.
was a
Different time.
different time. It
There
was
was there
absolutely
was there was
different time.
clocks in
So
those times too.
there was what?
There was
Clocks in those
clocks,
times.
real
Oh yeah,
clocks in that time.
yeah, real
But I
clocks.
want to
There you go.
say, talking about going back and coming
Awesome.
forward, it would bring me into the next question before we open up for questions from the audience. And that question is this: looking at the future trends and where we're going, like with technology, and I love the way you mentioned about Canva. That's one of my favorite tools. Being a
Yeah.
being a Photoshop guy and moving into Canva, I mean, like it's like night and day. Like I can spin up. Let's not talk about Canva right now, but I want you to kind of talk about what the future trends look like right now when it comes to LinkedIn. And I
Oh
would say
yes.
some of the things I think of is like AI and the collaborative
Oh yeah.
answers and things. I want you to just talk about that a little bit.
So I pretty much use Chat GPT pretty much almost every day.
Okay.
I
Same.
don't use it, like, I don't take it verbatim. You have to use your brain, and you have to take what Chat GPT gives you, and you have to tweak it. But it's crazy. Somebody did a resume on Chat GPT, and they said, "Oh, I'm not really getting any engagement and interviews." And I looked at it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I know why. It's terrible." But
Yeah.
I do get all kinds of fodder from Chat GPT, from interview questions to cover
Yep.
letters to profile summary paragraphs to unique selling propositions, to quantifiable achievements, in bullet points, whether you're a job seeker or an entrepreneur. You have to have metrics. You got to tell people,
Right.
how'd you help a company or client make money, save time, improve processes. So
Right.
you got to tell a story, and numbers are very, very powerful, right?
100%.
So I definitely use, Chat GPT. If I had more time on my hands, would I take more classes and workshops or certifications on all this AI stuff? Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
once I finish my dissertation, I oh my God, I want to take Google Analytics and Google Ads and whatnot. Like, all that stuff absolutely fascinates me. But,
That's
there's
awesome.
only so many hours in a day. So I dabble the best I can, and I do attend other, workshops and as time permits. But if somebody's got like a super duper workshop that they've taken, hey, hit me up, DM me. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Because it's, it
Awesome.
is the future. I don't think people are necessarily going to lose jobs as much as jobs are going to be created, but you have to be keep up with technology. So I'm a boomer, and my LinkedIn doctoral dissertation is on the topic of LinkedIn for job seekers who are digital immigrants. Well, what's a digital immigrant? Well, that would be a boomer and a Gen X. But just
Oh,
because
that's me.
you are, older, and wiser, does not mean you cannot be a digital learner. Get out there and learn. There's so much available um, on LinkedIn and on YouTube and whatnot. So don't stop
Yeah.
learning. Make the time to learn every week and make the time to network every week. Got to make networking a habit.
Awesome.
That's
We've
right.
hit the 15-minute mark, and this is the point where we open up for questions. But while we're doing that, I'm going to go check on LinkedIn comments and things like that. I'm going to hand over to Lena. Lena is going to actually
Okay.
talk about CobbleTree and just
Okay.
tell us a little bit about why we started CobbleTree, how people can engage with CobbleTree. So, Lena, go ahead.
Hi. Well, welcome, everyone. So, those who are just joining in or wanting to also learn a little bit more about CobbleTree. So, Addie and I are both co-founders for CobbleTree, which is an entrepreneurial ecosystem. And what we do is we take our business architect and business analyst role, and we help businesses who are struggling. They're large to mid to medium size, and we help them with cost savings and really looking at optimizing also processes and frameworks and what to help them improve, right? And so some of these businesses maybe have not raised their hand to say I need help, and so these are conversations we can book where we're looking at like literally customizing what we're looking at for you. This might be something you don't know is affordable or accessible to you, or even aware of what this is. And so you might think that I can go to this large company, but guess what? Sometimes when you go to those software companies, or it's not exactly customized and answering the questions you have. And it's very important, especially when you're looking at tech. How are we optimizing that? How do we condense timeframes? Also, where are cost savings? There's a lot of money there, and you're leaving it on the table. So in 2024, we're not going to continue doing that. We're going to raise our hand for help. We're going to reach out to CobbleTree. And so we also love referrals. So if you know someone needing help in that area, tap us on the shoulder, and we will make sure that we address your questions. So thank you. Thank you.
All right. Can you still hear me?
We
Oh,
can hear
awesome,
you.
awesome. Okay, so I've looked through LinkedIn, looked at Facebook, and it looks like there's no questions for you, teacherpreneurship or teacherpreneur.
Wow. How about that?
When did you start to coin that word teacherpreneur?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, I came from K-12 education, and then I went in entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
and then I'm involved in career education for adult learners, and it just made sense being teacherpreneur.
Nice.
It's my reinvention.
Awesome. So we don't have any questions here, and man, this has been really, really awesome. You've really shed light on a number of things. You shared about your life also, and thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being transparent.
Yes.
And also just sharing your journey. And everyone has a journey, and sometimes
Absolutely.
I've got into a space in my entrepreneur journey where I feel like I'm the only one going through this tough, trying everything, this falling apart experience. Everybody's having this great experience. They're posting their great experience online, and you think that's all it is. But you've been able to share a little bit behind the scenes, and also you've given us tips. Oh my goodness, the tips you've given to us. I've shared some of them in the comments. If I made a mistake, please help me correct it, because I
Sure.
think I shared on the one about the headlines.sharetruth.com for analyzing
Yep.
keywords. Is that analyzing keywords or the headline for your LinkedIn?
That's analyzing the headline. That's one of the
Analyzing the
headline
headline.
analyzers that I
Awesome.
use.
That is
I
so
do
awesome.
teach a class. I don't know when it's coming up, but it is coming up for SCORE on how to analyze headlines for LinkedIn emails and blogs. So I send out a MailChimp newsletter, basically doing events per week, and I've got a mailing list of almost 5,000, I guess, and I get a 33 to 44% open rate, which is pretty good.
Awesome.
So, I have tips and for that and analyzing those headlines to get people to open emails. So that is definitely entrepreneurial. Um, so check out, that gobsmacking links, link under my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
But, I have to say, I admire what you do. You're providing a coaching service, to entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
People don't realize they will get farther along faster
100%.
with help with people that have expertise in certain areas.
Thank you.
So, you could go it alone or you can go, with a team that's there to coach you and help you move your needle. So
Thank
good
you.
for you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for that feedback. As a matter of fact, what was going through my mind is that we're definitely going to collaborate with you as well on this
And
journey.
send clients.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Send clients to you and work together because you have skills and expertise even our audience would need. So thank you for coming on this show.
Absolutely.
And so
All right.
I don't know, Lena, do you have any questions for her before we close out?
Lynn, I more have a comment. I am very grateful for your time. Very grateful also to hear your personal story. I was already fangirling you, and so that just moved up 10 more. Your newsletters and every content that you offer is incredible value. Whether you're a job seeker or you own a company, you just need to convert it to what your story is. And so it's very important they're tapping into, or adding you on LinkedIn, open those newsletters. And, I just also want to congratulate you on such a beautiful journey. And you just do it so well. And so I think you say something like, I'm a baby boomer millennial spirit, because I love that you use emojis. I'm like, oh, her stuff is not dry. It's going to be funny. It's going to be good. And it's going to be on point. And you deliver that every single time. So yeah. That's
No, well,
awesome.
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. May I have one more question for you?
All right, go.
If you were going to go on vacation somewhere, because you're a very busy woman, right? your calendar is full. Where would that be?
I am a Disney nerd. Absolutely. I love
You need to wear the
Epcot.
Disney.
Mickey Mouse is my man.
Mickey
Oh,
Mouse.
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So, my daughter owns a Disney Vacation Club. She
Okay.
bought it at age 25, paid for it outright. She just has to pay, the yearly admin fees, which they're getting up there. But we can stay in these beautiful, accommodations, which are much, much nicer than the hotels. And
Wow.
so we
Love that.
do Disney once or twice a year. Um,
For you.
I speak French. I started learning that in 6th grade. So of course I've been to France 6 times. I was a student in Aix-en-Provence. And I
Beautiful.
love France, so I'd be up for that anytime. I did marry a Canadian, and my girls are dual citizens, and so I love
Oh,
going up to the cottage on Crow Lake in Marmora to see my brother and sister-in-law.
that's
And
awesome.
my sister-in-law is an amazing cook, so I just go there to eat. I'll wash the dishes. Yeah, they don't have a dishwasher at the cottage, but I'll wash the dishes for that amazing food that they have.
Awesome.
Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, those are kind of my places that I typically go. Lots of people go to the beach in places that are warm, but not so much.
Okay.
Not so much for
Thank
me.
you
I'd
so much.
rather Disney. I mean, Florida's warm,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, audience,
Yeah.
you've heard it. If you want to give her a gift, get her something for Disney. All right.
Yes.
So we're going to close out this show, and it's so good to have you on this show. It's
Thank you,
been
Lynn.
Well, thank
an
you.
honor as well, because we understand your schedule is so tight, and you're able to honor this invite. So thank you. You have a beautiful day. Thank you to our
All right.
audience. Our audience, we just say, go ahead and share this in your network. It's going to bless somebody. It's going to be
Absolutely.
impactful. It's going to help somebody to leverage their LinkedIn strategy. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you, Lynn. Have you too. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Lena Mendoza. I'm an executive coach and business strategist. And I'm really excited because my friend Addie and I, as we cultivate our connection over the last few years, we found out that we had a lot of the same entrepreneurial journey and also the mindset. And then we asked ourselves, like, how much of this information is out there that we want, and like, do people even know, right? They only see all the glory, but they don't see the story that happened before. They don't see the test before the testimony, right? And so what is the success and the setbacks that are involved with being an entrepreneur? And let's be honest, what are some of the failures? So we're gonna be raw and real. We're gonna bring that to you in a weekly LinkedIn audio event. And we'd love for you to be our guest. And you know what? We would love for you to share that. So come and join us. Let us hear and let's share some nuggets with you in the Success and Setback LinkedIn audio series.